Good morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Today is a very chilly day, but we are getting really close to seed starting time for some of the summer vegetables, which is hard to believe. So, in today's video, I'm going to share with you the peppers and the tomatoes that I'm growing for 2025.
Winds in my hair on the open road. My tank is full, in a drinking hand.
So welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Heather Morano. I am a flower farmer and gardener in Zone 9B in Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area. And I'm happy you're here. Thank you for stopping by. And if you guys have been here before, thank you so much for coming back. It means a lot to me. Okay, peppers for 2025. I made a decision yesterday, which was Dr. King's birthday, and is traditionally a day of service, that I'm going to build a raised bed out at the farm specifically for vegetables, and I'm going to grow those vegetables for a food pantry nearby. I live in a pretty well-off area, so my local neighbors don't need food, but there's plenty of people pretty close to us that do. It's within my power to do that. I can start seeds, and I can tend those vegetables and fruits, and I can bring surplus to the food pantry. So, I'll be growing food for the family in the front garden, but this is going to be a dedicated bed out at the farm just for others. And so hopefully I'll be able to do it well, and I'll be able to bring a lot of food down to the food pantry. So to that end, I'm actually going to be starting a whole lot more varieties and a lot more seeds than I normally do. And that's okay. I've got plenty to spare. All right, so the first one that's up in peppers is Craig's Grande Jalapeno. Now, I love this one. It is big, it is fat, and it grows really well, and I use it for cowboy candy, so just bowls and bowls of it to make cowboy candy every year. So this one is always a must grow for me. Okay, the next one is a sweet pepper. I didn't organize these by spicy and sweet. Sorry about that. So they'll be mixed. But this one is Jimmy Nardello. I grew this last year. It's a wonderful pepper. Really, really good roasted. So you might want to give this one a try. It's 80 to 90 day maturity, so not very long. And hopefully you'll get some peppers. I'm hoping that the peppers that I overwintered, they look fine. I think they'll come back again. Peppers in many places can be perennial. So if you want to dig them up and overwinter them in a warm spot, you'll get peppers much quicker than if you just start them from seed every year. Okay, another sweet pepper. This one's new to me this year. This is Sweet Banana, and it's a Hungarian heirloom from 1941. And they say it's for pickling, but I will eat any pepper raw or roasted or in salsa, whatever. Okay, and then this one is Pasilla Bajío. I started these from seed last year, but they did not do well for me, and that was me as a gardener. Not any fault of the seeds, so I'm gonna try it again this year. Okay, a couple new ones here for me from Hudson Valley Seeds. This is Habanada. I have heard so many good things about this one. It's a heatless habanero pepper that's bred for snacking. When peppers say heatless, I don't always believe them. For instance, shishitos are supposed to be heatless, but occasionally you get one that's pretty darn spicy. So, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt, but I definitely am looking forward to having these to snack on. And then I have another packet of Jimmy Nardello because I love these, and there was very few in that other packet, so I brought another one. Okay, this is a new one for me too, and it's in an art pack, so it's a really pretty one from Hudson Valley Seeds. This is the Pequeño pepper, and look at them. They are these little tiny, they're called this because they look like bird beaks. So if you look on the back, the actual photograph, look how cute they are. So I am looking forward to checking these out. It says they're great, both fresh and pickled. And then from High Mowing Seeds, we've got a few here that I've had. These are kind of a couple years old, from 2023. So they should be okay. But this is the California Wonder. So it's a nice bell pepper. And then we have this one, Carmen, is also a sweet pepper. Looks like it would be a hot pepper, but it's a sweet pepper. This one has done well for me in the past too, and they're pretty yummy. And then I have another High Mowing Seed. This one is New Mexico Joe E. Parker. It's a Southwestern style Anaheim chili pepper. So they say it's usually harvested green for stuffing and stuff, but you can have them, you can wait till they're red when they're ripe if you want to as well. All right, and then two more. This one is a sweet chocolate pepper. So another bell pepper that's chocolate color. These were pretty yummy last year as well. And this one was prolific for me last year. I grew a lot of them and made salsa. They are spicy. This is Sugar Rush Peach. It's a hot pepper that's supposed to be sweet and tropical, but for me it was pretty darn hot, so I didn't really taste the sweet or the tropical, but I know a lot of people like it for that aspect. Okay, that's peppers for 2025. Now we're moving on to tomatoes. And I've got a selection here of both determinate and indeterminate tomatoes. Indeterminate, if you're not familiar, means that they just keep growing and growing and growing. That, you know, if you gave them some of these indeterminate tomatoes, if you gave them a trellis that was 10 feet high, it would continue to grow even beyond that if you kept tying it up. Determinate tomatoes have a determined height and a determined shape, and they grow only to a certain point, and they put all their fruit on at once, and then they're done. So indeterminate will produce throughout the season, and determinate set fruit, and that's it. But those determinate tomatoes are pretty good for like late season tomatoes because they generally have a shorter cycle of seed to fruit. And so you can usually get like a last big harvest of tomatoes out of determinates. All right, so first up from, I'm looking through here to see if I can categorize them. Okay, first up from Hudson Valley Seeds, we have this guy, Brandywine. This can be traced all the way back to 1885. And I actually have never grown Brandywines before, even though they are just a really common tomato. I'm looking forward to growing this one this year. And then I always grow Amish paste because I do like to make sauces, and paste tomatoes are best for that. However, last year I made tomato sauce from all of my tomatoes. In fact, I harvested throughout the whole season and put everything into a Ziploc bag, multiple Ziploc bags, and kept them in the freezer, and then did my processing of my sauce in like late September or something like that. So it was kind of cool because it was a big mix of different types of tomatoes, and a lot of them were not paste tomatoes, and it came out great. So you don't have to use paste tomatoes for sauce. That just means there's less water in them, and so they cook down faster. Also, tend to have a more meatier flavor. All right, so this one is called the blush tomato. It's really pretty. This says a vigorous plant with high quality fruits, elongated yellow marble red with pearl-like iridescence, and it's crack resistant, which is nice. Generally, when you get cracks in tomatoes, it's usually because there's water differential. So too much water, not enough water, too much water, not enough water, that on and off. And then it tends to flood the tomato and it swells with the water. And then when you back off, it shrinks, and then it swells again, it shrinks, and that causes cracking. Cherokee Purple. I know this is a really popular one, but I actually have never grown it before. And then Sun Gold. I love Sun Gold. I've grown it a number of years. Last year, I did not. Last year, I grew Pole Cutie, I think it was. Very good. But Sun Gold, they just outperform every time. And in fact, last year, I couldn't even get my hands on a packet of these. They're that popular. Okay, next up, Cherokee Carbon. Now, I have heard really great things about this tomato. It's a cross of two heirlooms, Cherokee Purple and a Carbon tomato. And I've heard they have really amazing flavor. I know Jacques over at Jacques in the Garden and Epic Gardening, he really loves this one. This is one of his favorites. And so I'm taking his advice, and I'm going to give it a try this year. Here's another indeterminate. This one is called Pineapple. And it's supposed to be high yielding. It's a really, really pretty color, and it's supposedly a very meaty beefsteak type fruit, and it's low acid. So again, we'll see what this is like. It keeps winning lots of awards, so I trust it's gonna be good. more paste tomatoes. I love Amish paste, but I also really love San Marzano. So we're going to be doing these as well. And then I have one more thing of Sun Gold. Apparently I was afraid I wouldn't get enough. Okay, and then we're going to do Sweetie cherry tomatoes. And they're very sweet. Really beautiful on the vine. I have one that I grew last year. This one gave me so many tomatoes. In fact, this is what my sauce was mostly made up of last year. This is the Pink Berkeley tie-dye tomato. Really yummy. Made a lovely sauce. And then I have two determinant tomatoes. This one is called a Patio Choice Yellow. Really nice because it's very small. It's perfect for a container. It's got little half-ounce cherry tomatoes that are really good. You can eat them fresh and stuff, but I found them really good roasted, like sun-dried. Really, really lovely. So nice one, especially if you have a place that doesn't have a lot of space for gardening. You could put those in a container and you'd have a lovely tomato harvest. These also work really well in a container. I grew these last year. This is a cream sausage. This is a determinant tomato. They are cylindrical and they are creamy to pale yellow. They do look like little sausages. And supposedly they're pretty buttery, but I didn't really notice that. But it's a nice compact plant and it produces and produces and produces. So a really lovely tomato option for you. All right, well, that's it for our peppers and tomatoes for 2025. I'll be starting those seeds later this week. First, I've got to get all those trays cleaned. And I'm waiting for kind of a warmer day. It's not fun to be cleaning trays when it's really cold outside and you have to get wet. So we'll get there. But all the seedlings look great. I've been battling rodents still in the front garden and I am catching them. I caught a really large rat this morning. It got snapped in the trap. Healthy looking. So I'm sure there are plenty others out there. So I'll keep setting the traps. We've been going below freezing. And so I think they're kind of mostly hanging out in the burrow at night because it's just too cold for them. So I think as the weather starts to warm, I'll be more efficient in catching more of them. So we'll see. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out today. Tomorrow, hopefully we'll have some more field work video for you. But for today, this is about all I can handle. Hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. Let me know below if you are growing any of the same tomatoes or peppers that I'm growing this year or what you are growing. I would love to hear it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.